So let's just take a basic look at NQ here on the weekly chart, and then we will go into the daily chart. A really nice structure here on this one. In terms of a weekly chart here, and let's go back into here. So getting things started, let's break down /NQ, and we'll start here on the weekly chart. And really what we're seeing here is we come up, we try to break out of this base here, failure right here, and now we have 3 strong bars of selling pressure here. To me, it looks like we're breaking this prior here, so we're making a new lower low, but it looks like to me there is a potential here to make some sort of bounce reaction here within this trend of the weekly chart trying to pull back here. So for me, looking for a bounce move here, when we come in to the daily chart, you can see a strong sell-off here, no doubt. And each attempted rally to break continues to get sold into. So the question becomes, does this individual daily bar here trigger us to trade higher and still work our way back into this downtrend that we flipped into? Or is this a trap similar to what we got right here, and then we just continue rolling over here? So for me, come Monday, watching long over 2251.75, and really this has potential up into like this 21,392.50 area here on the daily chart, which is nothing more than a rally into this downtrend where we're starting to make this move lower. So from the daily chart, do we hold here is the question. 2251.75 on Monday is going to be the watch for longs, which would correlate with trying to work our way back into this weekly bar to the upside here. So that would be the main watch here on NQ. And when we go into YM, what's really interesting about the Dow is this one tried to trigger higher and failed. So although it got a sell-off, we're still trying to hold above here for a potential higher low, which can work our way back up into this uptrend. The one thing that really makes me question this is we had like this base here. We had a really nice attempted breakout here, and then we slammed it lower. So everyone who bought on this breakout over here essentially got trapped and then rolled this over here to the downside. So watching the move over 42,931, that corresponds with NQ holding that level mentioned too. 4 longs here on Monday up into 43,858. The first setup here is going to be Apple, and when you look at it from a market perspective, the market is pulling back quite a bit. And Apple is just getting this small 2-bar pullback here on the weekly chart that is still well above its prior pivot. So this is going to be a relative strength name here. So from the daily chart here, looking personally for a move over 241.16, targeting these highs around here at 249.69 and then up here into 253.67. That if we get some strength on NQ, this is something that is going to follow through and it will help with that movement. So if we can get that to hold, get over 241.16, relative strength on the NASDAQ confirming, then I am very interested in this long here to the upside here this week. Amazon's another one. This one has sold off quite a bit on the weekly chart, but it's getting really extended. We have 5 straight red bars here down on the weekly. I think it needs a breather, and a bounce in this strong move to the downside does make sense. So for me, from a weekly chart, looking for something that maybe even just puts in an inside bar like this, which doesn't look like a lot, but that's a move from 199 all the way up into like 209s. So a decent move here, like a 5% move that we could capture in this downtrend. And the question is this just the failure down in here to trap shorts and then revert us back up into a move in this downtrend here? Any strength over 200.35, watching a long up into this 218.45 area, which is essentially where we come down in this trend and fail before this move lower. So watching us, if we can hold 200.35 for then this trend momentum to continue up into that 218.45 region here this week. And when we zoom in on a shorter time frame, obviously in a downtrend, we're trying to potentially flip this downtrend over 205.12 would be most ideal here. And then watching over 200.35 on Monday for then this trend move to the upside here. And then the last one, Tesla. This one I'm watching for downside. It is extended to the downside, but this one is really, really weak on the daily chart here. And you can see these prior attempted rallies here have just been getting sold into. So I'm wondering if we can fill this gap down here or even down into here, which we are really close into here. But if we can fill this gap down into 210, that is something I would be interested in. And from the weekly chart, watching this for more continuation to the downside below 254.42 for a move down into like these 240 area below, which would be a continuation sell-off into this downtrend we've formed essentially since up here. And now we're just forming lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower highs here. So each attempted gap up that follows through, sold into. Try to move higher here, failed right here, and now we're trying to attempt higher, but does this just set the lower high for then the trend to continue to the downside, and that will be the main watch. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know down below what you are watching this week, and as always, I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you.